I have with me today Ken Moody, who is the Executive Director of our Governmental and Community Affairs group here at the University of Memphis. Ken, welcome.
Thank you, President, for having me.
You joined us about a year and a half ago. You came to us from the mayor's office,
Yes.
and we brought you in because we really felt like we needed a stronger connection with the community between the U of M and really the entire Memphis community,
Right.
not just the governmental side. Tell us a little bit about your background. You played basketball here, right?
Right. I'm a former Tiger basketball player here. I'm a twice graduate here at the University of Memphis, lifelong Memphian, and been here all of my life. And to have a chance to play basketball here, work for two mayors, and then to come full circle to work at the university, it's an honor and privilege for me. And so it's, kind of like a bucket list of checkoffs I've had in my life.
So Ken, as the head of the office that really serves as those touch points to our local, state, and federal delegations and community members, what's the toughest part of that?
It's getting adjusted to higher ed. Again, I come from a government environment, spent 20 years in government environment, so we're on one side of the table in that role. To come in this role, and the relationships that I brought to this role has been very beneficial and helpful, but to really get an understanding of higher ed, how we're funded, how the importance of having that strong state and local relationships with our delegation to help us get what we need to understand your priorities for the university and how each college and what they need is so important. And so just getting educated on higher ed and how it actually is funded and how it's structured, and to be able to transition my mindset from city government to higher ed.
I'm not sure a lot of people understand that as a state institution, a portion of our funding comes from the state, which means we have to work with the governor's office, with our legislators, with the comptroller's office and others, right, on getting the funding for facilities, but a lot of things that we do here. And that's kind of a behind the scenes job that takes a lot of time and effort, right? And we have somebody in Nashville that works for us.
Absolutely. I've got a colleague, Allie, who works in Nashville on a daily basis talking to our state representatives about what we need.
And then as an R1 institution, a lot of our funding comes from the federal level. So a lot of people may not realize we have to spend a lot of time in Washington, D.C. talking to our federal delegation, to major agencies up there. We did over $100 million in research. Again, that doesn't happen without great faculty and the work they're doing, but also without spending some time in Washington, D.C. Right?
Absolutely. Again, it gives me a chance to understand what our faculty needs, and being an R1 institution and talking about what we need to grow as an R1 institution, and having to spend that time in D.C. Again, we've got lobbyists there. You spend a lot of time there, so we've got to be constantly involved and in communication with them to make sure they know what our needs are, they know what our successes are, and they know what our needs are so we can continue to grow.
You may be the most valuable man on campus, because if you think about the funding that really comes through our state and federal delegations, it's a couple of $100 million that comes through that every year. So you may be the most important man on campus.
Well, thank you. I played on a lot of basketball teams. I've never been the most valuable player.
There you go.
And so now I'm the most valuable player, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate all you do for the university.
Thanks for having me.